I grabbed this headline. I wasn't even looking for it. I was looking for another story, but why not do an episode on this one? Because it's something I brought up a few times, and I'm not even blaming the Biden administration. I don't. I'm not a registered anything. I don't. I don't like this party BS. Um, I want like the best people to do the job, and I don't care what party you are. You work for us, the American people, and you're supposed to do the best job possible. So I don't, blame it on the Biden administration. I'm blaming it on a bigger story here. It's This is far beyond. I mean, Trump printed money. This stuff's on his watch. Biden printed money. It's on his watch. Kane and I were doing episodes back 6 months ago, 8 months ago, or more, talking about inflation. That it's happening. It's coming. Neither one of us are economists. Kane's super smart and he's got the, you know, big college education, and he knows way more about this stuff than I do. Um, but I think just every day we both sat back and said, you can't pump 6 to 9, $10 trillion into the system and not expect inflation to go up. Like I don't, I think it wasn't just a failure on the Trump administration. It wasn't just a failure in the Biden administration. It was a failure on just about every economist out there, every analyst, every commentator on these channels. Did you not see it coming? When I was talking to people about, you know, when four wheelers were sold out and jet skis were sold out and RVs were sold out, when everything was sold out, I was trying to buy a bike. They told me bikes were sold out for a year. Not only did they sell all of that year's bikes, they sold all of next year's bikes. Who would have not have seen this coming when we bought so much stuff that we've just overconsumed to the max because we've never had so much money? Stock market through the roof. People were getting fat unemployment. They weren't paying their rent. I've been saying this over and over and over again. I don't know why. No one seems to catch on. They weren't paying their rent. People weren't paying their school loans. People still aren't paying their school loans. Instead of paying their school loans, that money's going in the economy. We consumed and we consumed and we consumed, and we created a huge supply chain issue. And then we got all this money in the system. And people are like wealthier than ever. If you look at the amount of money that the upper middle class and above have gained in the last 24 months, it's crazy. Stock market's booming. It's boomed so much, people 55 and over started retiring early, causing part of the worker shortage. How can you not see this coming? And I blame everybody: the economist, Biden, Trump, all their administration, the analyst, the the, the finance pundits. This is plain as day. You saw it coming. I want to know how we get out of it. Raising interest rates, sure. How long is it going to take to, interest rates is one way you get money out of the system, right? I'm going back to some, who knows economics book I probably read 20 years ago. I didn't take college class on it, so I don't know. If you got a better explanation, feel free to drop a comment. But I know interest rates is one way the government gets money out of the system. But we have bought so much stuff and these expensive, homes, and we're living on this growth right now. But that growth starts to slow when those interest rates creep up. And everything's gotten so expensive, you need low interest rates to afford these homes now. You can't even get a cheap home anymore. Another episode I talked about, the childhood home I grew up in, a little 700 square foot crap box with seven people stuffed in it. Sold a couple years ago for like 86,000, and then during this boom, it sold for like 135 or 140. It almost doubled. Like nothing's affordable anymore. But if it is kind of affordable, it's because rates are low. So when those rates go up, housing's going to slow. These expensive cars, like how expensive cars are now, let alone electric cars. Everything's so goddamn expensive with inflation that without the low rates, that all crumbles. And that's going to put us into a slowdown, a recession. And there we go. And then if the stock market crashes, that, again, that can kind of bring some of the money supply down too because there's value loss. But when you saw, Kane made a good point in one of our conversations one day. He said, just on cryptos, there's like $1 trillion in market cap evaporated in the snap of a finger. But everyone woke up the next day and kept doing what they're doing. Like we could afford to take $1 trillion hit in this like unrealized gains, right? And society didn't even miss a blip. And that tells you how much money's out there right now. And the only way to combat this inflation is to get some of the money out of the system, or do you just intentionally crash the economy? Do you get the stock market off these all-time highs and stop this craziness of where homes are going for sale and there's like 6 or 7 or 8 offers going for them? It's something's got to pop that bubble, and it's going to be painful. I don't think there's any non-painful way to. I guess it's like those billboards you see with the painless dentist, and it's always some 50-year-old guy and he's got like a gold chain on, and because the gold chain's going to make you feel more comfortable that this guy's drilling your teeth. But it says painless dentistry, but we know nothing's ever painless. There is no painless way out of getting inflation beaten down. Rates go up, some part of the market or certain asset classes are going to pop, and it's going to suck. But there's going to be opportunity there too, because if it busts, that's a good time to go and reinvest. So I don't know. I kind of blame everybody. I just don't know how you didn't see this coming. This has got to. I'm assuming this is like economics 101. You take the survey course somewhere, and they would tell you that if you pump in trillions of dollars into any economy, you're going to have inflation. Maybe not like crazy Zimbabwe inflation, but there's going to be inflation. And here it is. And you're watching it trickle over into wages, which is putting a hurt on profits. There's so many bad things coming down the pipeline right now. But again, I don't think. Can you think of a way where we can beat down inflation and not make it painless? If you got an idea, drop a comment. But it just reminds me of the Michael Burry stuff back when the markets crashed in 2008, and he's one of the few people that saw it coming. There was so many clips of people in our federal government and from the Treasury, everywhere, economists saying that the economy was strong, the economy was good, the economy was healthy. And the next thing you know, like 6 months later, we're in complete shambles. You can't ever listen to these people. The more academic they are, the more they get it wrong. And you're looking around, you're waiting for someone. You're starting to see more people talk about it, right? But some people are shorting the market, then they're sitting around, they're wishing it crashes because they're going to make a fortune. So when you hear them talk about it, it's do you really see something coming? Or is that just you're putting it out there because you want that to happen so you can make money? You just don't see a whole lot of talk about it. You hear a lot of talk about that things are going to be decent this year, that earnings might still be strong, there might be good returns. The one guy that was Charlie, what's his name? Him and Buffett. Charlie was talking about the next decade or something. It could be terrible returns, like if this all crashes. So, is there a way to beat down inflation where it's not so painful, or how painful will it be for that to happen? To get this under control, to where oil's not $100 a barrel, where grocery bills aren't going up 30%, where, if you, I don't know if you noticed, but everywhere the menu prices have either gone up so much that you're like, man, this is a lot of money for a Caesar salad, or they've shrunk the portions so much it doesn't make sense to eat there anymore. I've had that issue with Chipotle Grill and Panera Bread, for example. I think they have chosen to try to just stick it out and not raise prices, hoping that inflation is going to come down. So they I'm guessing, and maybe it's intentional or not, they're shrunk portion sizes, but I'm spending like $12 on a burrito and I'm still hungry. I spend $12, $13 on a sandwich, and they're obviously playing a game called hide the chicken, because I can't find where all the chickens. Wait, where'd the chicken go? My sandwich ain't got hardly any chicken on it right now for $12, $13. I don't know how long we can do this right now. So, anyways, if you got some thoughts, how do we get out of this mess? And if you want to blame somebody, who do you blame? I kind of think it's on everybody. We just printed too much money across the board. And it sounds like they want to keep printing money, which I think is dumb. We need to get a grip on what's going on right now. And then come back and reevaluate things and say, okay, let's strategically spend some money on some things we need to fix. I don't want to see another $2, $3, $4, $5 trillion bill come through. Like, we've dug this hole way too deep as it is. Let's find out where money needs to be spent on things that are absolutely imperative. and go from there. It's a lot of times I feel like Congress thinks the only thing that they can do is spend money. They ain't spending money or creating another law that we don't need. Man, get some laws off the books. If you ever looked at how many laws and regulations we have in this country, it is no wonder we can't breathe. You can't do anything anymore. There's a law or regulation for everything, probably hundreds of thousands of them. Congress seems like they can only create new laws and spend money, and that's it. And it doesn't seem like it's working too well. But that's just me. Anyways, that's all I got for this one. I'm gonna catch you on the next one.